Real Cake, a spoken word poetry project for Intro to Mass Communications, Spring Semester 2020. Written and performed by Jessica Hodges. It lives in the girl who's losing bits of herself, inch by inch, day by day, flattening her body, flattening her personality, flattening to fit a mold of empty pain. It doesn't have a voice, and yet it speaks with every Skinny Woman advert, shouts with every brick in Facebook's wall. Many to one to many it goes, using tongues and hands, ears and eyes. It touches everything, and people drown in it. It has not always been this way, sour people say. There were newspapers and books, and they were safe. The news told the truth, and books told the stories of the heart. But I say that is rude. Did you forget yellow journalism, I Want to Spit? Or the dime store novels? The other books you tried to burn? Fools. Books and papers are both still here, right in front of your noses. But I am only a poet, so I say nothing. Instead, I talk to my paper. I say truth was never absolute. I say that all stories still have power in the telling. Flat movie screens and battered pages, graffiti on subway walls and Twitter writing prompts, they all talk. The girl who's degrading, eroding herself, she says so too. She scribbles in red Sharpie on her walls, curls tight around her phone, snuggles old books from the corners of her bed, soft covers bent and hard covers smudged. Media, it hums in her blood, the universe's soul, honey and wine and poison, bitter as gall and sweeter than syrup, not like cake. Cake, real cake. Real cake is rich and soft and warm. Real cake is how I found her, kept her from drowning, and real cake is how she saved me right back. When I wrote to her, she was an April morning shadow in 2 big clothes, bleeding words, dripping poetry revealing soul cuts, wet lungs, fragile bones. She wrote about starving, about loneliness, about want and need and denial. I spoke poem, and I said, let me eat cake with you. I don't know why I did it. Don't know why me, an unknown, asked her, a stranger, to eat with me. It's intimate food, hated and adored. The one connection of the internet branching into thousands, mobs of mouths that close and open, curse and hoard and eat, all smeared with feasts or dry as bone. It's a scary place, a vulnerable one. But she called me, and we did it. I'll call you tomorrow. My question after was breathless, gentle. I'd talked to her now. I knew she was drowning, and I liked her. I wanted more conversation. I wanted more cake. She apparently did too, because she kept calling, and we kept talking, writing, sharing. I learned of her brother, once neck deep in video games, lost to the world, now creating them, teaching children, using his love for good. I wanted to hold her when she told me about the hateful comments, the assholes that called her ugly and big, the people who never noticed just how much she was listening, just how much she was doing, just how much she was vanishing. In turn, she listened quiet when I talked, pouring out my stories and my pain, a mother who cut my connections, a father who drank up his life. People, she mumbled when I was done. People are ugly. They bloody each other, take and take and take, yell and deface, and it makes everything bad. Maybe we shouldn't get to do this. Talk around the world, never touching, never seeing consequences. Maybe all media is bad because all media is a part of us. Maybe social media, all of this at once, maybe it's too big. I stared at her, thoughtful. She was fuller now, a sunbeam. I was fuller too. We'd fed each other favorite authors between bites, accompanied ourselves with customized playlists, music to touch our souls, Maria Mina and MSMR to sometimes say what words couldn't. It had all made us strong. Media... My voice was quiet. Media is a river, a thought stream, a constant expression. It takes the world, reflects it through countless pairs of eyes, but nobody... I stopped, wished I could squeeze her hand. Nobody is meant to see through that many. It's like a language. Pixel trails and finger taps, chords and pages, all of it twines and gathers, talks and talks and talks. Some of it's wonderful. Love and beauty and warmth, but people have pain in them and hatred and a wanting for power. They need to belong, and the loudest ones, the ones who are most desperate, they'll get followed most. So people fall in the river, jumping in after something pretty, and down they go. It's why you have to know the language, be literate in all its forms, to know what they're saying, to be careful with the current. But that doesn't mean get rid of it. Even if we could somehow, there's so much good in it. How could you throw that away? Break what makes us possible. Besides, you gotta admit this is nice, and that we have damn good cake. Yeah, she cried. Fucking amazing cake. And I could tell she wanted to squeeze my hand, too. That was a while ago, in the days I call discovering my best friend. Now it's 2020. My apartment is messy as hell. I'm stressed and sleep-deprived, and I've got a fucking communications project banging on the doors of my to-do list because it's due, today. But my page is blank, and for once, I can't think of what to write. So I'm almost grateful for the knock, for the package that I didn't order because I can take a break. When I unwrap the cake, I start to cry. We've both been busy, that girl and I, but her note is still on point. Take a breath and have some fucking cake. Shaping the world can wait. With the cake and the note came memory. Snowballing past her to touch others, sparking remembered conversations and insight and love. Love for all the ways we communicate. Love for the magic we all can make together and apart. Love for the distant ones, the people who remind me most of good and joy and light. This is my I love you back. But more than that, this is the I love you to media, who lets us be us, and also, in its strange way, lets me stuff my face full on life. It thrums in me, like it thrums in her, like it thrums in all of us. But rather than being afraid, I have hope. Hope that it always reminds me to take another bite.